Alright, so I did take a look at this camera here, this HDMI and USB 3 video output up to 4K from Thor Broadcast. Audio integrated integration, so there is a microphone in here which you can use if you want to do a conference. It does have a remote control for setting up your settings, your white balance, and things like that, and getting all your coloring. An answer, hang up phone on the features of, should hold that up close here. So yeah, it has a volume up, an answer call, hang up, preset settings, and far near manual autofocus, and your setup buttons. It's very wide angle, so you get like a very wide angle of the room that you're shooting in, and then zoom in on that particular spot. So it works really good for that. It is, you can notice by the blue connection here on the USB connector, it is USB 3, but it will work with USB 2.0. I plugged it into a USB 2.0 port on my computer, and I only wanted 1080p quality. At the back here, it has this where the USB connector goes. It uses one of the older printer ones that are USB 3, but it's pretty solid. It also has HDMI output, so if you want to use this camera for going into as a webcam, going to your computer and using it for streaming, but you also want to plug it into a monitor using the HDMI output, you can plug this one into a monitor as well, which is a great feature for multiple applications. So what I really liked is that it has the tripod mount on it. I have a few old tripods, and these were like really, I picked these up at thrift stores, these tripods, and they're like $4. I love the Mission thrift store, they're great for that. I think the thrift store has helped my channel in a lot of things like that for tripods and microphones and things like that. The camera does have this clip here. So it's got a metal casing, so it's a good quality build. A red light when it's on standby and a blue light when it's on. Okay, so this is the 4kFly camera. It is a very wide angle lens, so you can see things around me. I actually have it zoomed in a little bit now. My reach from this camera here is literally there. I'm touching the camera, not the lens, but the camera without my arm extended. So it really looks like further than it is, which is good if you want the camera close on your desk and you want to create the illusion of it being further away. The only thing is, I do recommend zooming it in. If you want it wider and you want to use this for a wide angle camera, you can do that as well. It will have like a very fish-eyed, I guess a fish-eyed looking through a doorknob when someone's visiting look. So I'll zoom out completely. So there you see a very wide shot of the room. You can see from one wall to the other. Tidy it up a bit. But I try to hide that from when I do my videos. So what I simply do is, my kids, I mean, there's a playhouse here. I don't know if you can see the other lights. So I can just zoom it in. Also, when you do zoom in, you can change the height of your camera if you want to adjust that, and you want to get it to where you feel you'd want to have it aimed. I'd say it's a pan and zoom camera, but maybe not so much tilt because there's not really a tilting apparatus, but it virtually does pan and tilt. So the remote will come with your power on. This particular one has an answer and hang up call and your volume control for the microphone, because there is a microphone built into the camera. I'm actually not using the microphone now, but you can set that up when you're going through Zoom or Facebook or whatever you're going through. It'll ask you what mic to select. I'm just using this one here on my desktop just because it's the one I tend to do with my OBS recordings. Preset all your manuals. It has your hopefully I got it set to autofocus. So it has your focus and your zoom in and out buttons and your numeric pad. Now, I have actually set mine up to work with my other remote. This camera right now, it's set up so with the fisheye camera, I've made it camera 2. So it actually makes the original remote not work. But I'm able to use this remote to configure the camera and then control another camera holding the same remote, and I don't have to flop around finding different remotes. So I'll just go through my settings. So it has mount mode. So this is best if you have it upside down. Turns it upside down. your video output mode, whether you want it at interlace video or at 720p. On this webcam, it doesn't really affect that so much, as I'm swapping this around right now, as I like 1080p 30 frames per second. It does do higher. It does have the HDMI port at the back where you can configure that. For my recordings, I'm sticking with the 1080p, and here I have my exposure, my BLC, my picture. It has a plus there, so I can go in through the all the settings here. I did change a few settings here from the default just for this room settings, because I wanted to get the color the best way I could possibly do that. And so I changed the contrast, the gamma, and the saturate. The saturate mode was taking away a lot of the color, so I adjusted that and was able to get it working a lot better. And just go and return. White balance mode, so you can go through this and go through auto white balance, and it will just automatically do it. But if you want to manually auto white balance, as you can see here, it's there you go. Got the trigger there. I'll just grab a white piece of paper. Hit trigger. There you go. There. So it's set at about 84. So you can go in your system and look at your settings. So what I did for the remote to be able to use the PTZ Maximus camera, I just selected Letco ID2, and then reset the camera, and I was able to use it as an alternative remote. So you can turn your audio on and off, which would mean the little microphone that's on the speaker. Your defect start, your LDC, and your flicker. Swap your flicker and the info of the version. Set your language and your default settings. You just click that. So be careful not to click on that. It'll change everything back to your defaults. That's the camera settings. Also, it has a pan, tilt, zoom, so I can zoom out and make things a wider shot and just sort of. But as you see, even though it is a fisheye lens, you can use it for a hard shot. And what I would do in a case like this is I would have a chat room here. Some gamers would have a game playing in the side of the screen, and some things that's what, if you're gaming, you're multitasking, you want a shot of what you're doing, but you don't want to have to focus too much on what's going on with your camera work. This is a good camera for that. You can pick up one of these cameras at thorbroadcast.com. Pick up the Maximus4kFly, or if you want something more like the Maximus Star, I've done a previous video on that. Also, you may be interested in checking out other products from Thor, such as their modulators. For new customers, there's a promo code THOR10, and that will save you up to 10% on purchases on certain items. And be sure to come by and check out my YouTube channel, Robbie Strike. Just simply type in Robbie Strike into YouTube, and my smiling face will probably pop up. And you can check out some of my videos on all sorts of tech reviews, satellite dish movie movers, my review on the Thor Petit HDMI RF modulator,